Welcome to the channel. Subscribe and like the video. OTFDD is a big dummy because he is wearing the same clothing that he used in Quando Rondo's cousin Lil Pab homicide. Vonnie is telling him something about what happened at the gas station inside of In-N-Out restaurant, but they have on the same clothing while OTF Jam was sitting at the table waiting for them to get finished ordering so that they can hop back in the rental car, according to the indictment. Based on publicly reported court filings, federal prosecutors allege that several individuals associated with OTF, including Kayvon Vonnie Grant and DeAndre Dady Wilson, participated in a murder-for-hire conspiracy connected to the August 2022 shooting that killed Saviella Lil Pab Robinson, a cousin of Quando Rondo. The defendants have the presumption of innocence, and the allegations remain subject to court proceedings. The ongoing federal case involving Lil Durk and several alleged OTF associates has become one of the most discussed legal stories in hip-hop, generating extensive debate across social media, live streams, podcasts, and entertainment news outlets. Much of that attention has centered on evidence described by prosecutors in court filings, including travel records, communications, financial transactions, surveillance footage, and other investigative materials. According to federal authorities, the case stems from an alleged murder-for-hire conspiracy connected to the August 2022 shooting in Los Angeles that resulted in the death of Saviella Lil Pab Robinson, the cousin of rapper Quando Rondo. Prosecutors have alleged that the attack was motivated by retaliation following the 2020 death of rapper King Von, a close associate of Lil Durk and a prominent member of the OTF circle. Federal court documents allege that several individuals traveled from Chicago to Los Angeles and spent hours tracking the intended target before the shooting occurred. Prosecutors have further alleged that various expenses connected to the trip, including travel arrangements and related costs, were financed through resources connected to OTF. Defense attorneys, meanwhile, have challenged numerous aspects of the government's case and maintained that allegations contained in indictments are not evidence of guilt. As the legal proceedings continue, every new filing, hearing, and evidentiary dispute has become a major topic of discussion among hip-hop fans. One of the reasons the case has attracted so much attention is because of the stature of the individuals involved. Lil Durk emerged during the Chicago drill movement and developed into one of the most commercially successful rappers of his generation. His influence expanded well beyond Chicago as he built OTF into a recognizable brand and collective. The death of King Von in 2020 was a major moment within hip-hop culture and had a profound impact on fans and artists alike. Prosecutors alleged that events occurring after that tragedy eventually contributed to the conspiracy described in federal court documents. Court records indicate that investigators examined travel histories, digital evidence, surveillance materials, and communications in constructing the government's case. Public interest intensified after prosecutors released detailed allegations regarding the movements of various defendants before and after the shooting. Legal analysts have noted that federal prosecutors often rely on timelines created from surveillance footage, phone records, financial transactions, and witness statements to establish patterns of activity. Such evidence frequently becomes a central battleground during criminal trials because prosecutors and defense attorneys may interpret the same material in dramatically different ways. Throughout the proceedings, observers have debated the strength of the government's evidence and the challenges prosecutors may face in proving every element of the alleged conspiracy beyond a reasonable doubt. Supporters of the defendants have repeatedly emphasized the importance of due process and the presumption of innocence, arguing that accusations alone should not be treated as established facts. Others have focused on the seriousness of the allegations and the extensive investigative efforts described by federal authorities. The case has also sparked broader conversations about the relationship between rap culture, social media narratives, and criminal investigations. Hip-hop fans frequently analyze legal developments involving major artists, often turning complex court proceedings into viral discussions online. Every motion, hearing, and filing can generate thousands of reactions and competing interpretations. Some commentators have expressed concern that public opinion often forms before all evidence is presented in court, while others believe transparency regarding major criminal cases is important. Prosecutors have continued pursuing the case through multiple filings and evidentiary disputes, including efforts related to music, lyrics, videos, and other materials they argue are relevant to the allegations. Defense attorneys have opposed many of those efforts, contending that such evidence could unfairly prejudice a jury. These disputes reflect broader legal debates that have emerged in recent years regarding the use of artistic expression in criminal proceedings. As the case progresses, courts will continue determining what evidence jurors ultimately may consider. The outcome could have significant implications not only for the defendants, but also for future cases involving artists and the interpretation of creative works. Regardless of where individual observers stand, the proceedings remain among the most closely watched legal matters in contemporary hip-hop. The allegations have generated national headlines, while each new development continues to attract intense scrutiny from fans, journalists, and legal analysts. Ultimately, the central questions will be resolved in court rather than through social media speculation. The government must prove its allegations, while the defendants retain the right to challenge every aspect of the prosecution's case. Until a verdict is reached, the allegations remain allegations, and the legal process will determine what conclusions are supported by admissible evidence. The statement I made about this crazy case above stays within publicly reported allegations and court proceedings and avoids presenting disputed claims as established fact. It is based on publicly reported court records and federal allegations. So y'all know I ain't capping. Y'all need to go. Check on y'all. Mans, he needs some milk because OTF is cooked. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. The like button in the subscribe button isn't scared of your fingers. Based on federal court filings, prosecutors allege that the case involving Lil Durk and several alleged OTF associates is connected to the aftermath of the 2020 death of King Von. According to the government, the alleged motive behind the murder-for-hire conspiracy was retaliation against Quando Rondo following the Atlanta incident in which King Von was fatally shot during a confrontation involving Quando Rondo's associate. Federal prosecutors claim that events stemming from that tragedy eventually led to the 2022 Los Angeles shooting that killed Quando Rondo's cousin, Xavier Lil Pab Robinson. What is important to understand is that King Von's death became a defining moment in modern drill music culture. On November 6, 2020, an altercation outside an Atlanta nightclub escalated into gunfire, resulting in King Von's death. The incident immediately intensified tensions between individuals connected to both camps and became one of the most discussed events in hip-hop. In the years that followed, fans, bloggers, and media personalities continuously debated whether the conflict would lead to further retaliation, with social media amplifying every rumor and alleged connection. Federal prosecutors now allege that the chain of events did not end with King Von's death. According to the indictment, members allegedly associated with OTF traveled from Chicago to Los Angeles in August 2022 after learning information about Quando Rondo's whereabouts. Prosecutors allege that the intended target was Quando Rondo and that the operation was retaliation connected to the earlier Atlanta shooting. The government claims the attack instead resulted in the death of Robinson, who was riding with Quando Rondo at the time. These allegations form the foundation of the federal murder-for-hire case. The defendants deny wrongdoing, and the allegations remain subject to court proceedings. The reason many observers describe the case as being connected to King Von's death is because federal authorities themselves have repeatedly cited that incident as the alleged motive behind the conspiracy. Court filings and public statements from prosecutors characterized the alleged plot as revenge for what happened in Atlanta in 2020. Prosecutors contend that the conflict between the two camps evolved over time and eventually culminated in the events that became the subject of the federal investigation. Beyond the courtroom, the case has become a symbol of how long-running rap feuds can evolve into something much larger than music. For years, fans discussed diss records, social media posts, interviews, and perceived subliminal messages between artists connected to the OTF and NBA circles. While many of those discussions remain speculative, federal investigators have focused on specific actions and evidence rather than internet theories. Their case relies on allegations involving travel records, communications, financial transactions, surveillance evidence, and witness testimony rather than social media narratives. The legal significance of the case is substantial because prosecutors are attempting to prove not only that a conspiracy existed, but also that it was allegedly motivated by retaliation connected to the King Von shooting. That makes the 2020 Atlanta incident a central part of the broader narrative presented by the government. Defense attorneys, meanwhile, have challenged aspects of the government's case and continue to maintain the presumption of innocence for the defendants. As the proceedings continue, one of the major questions will be whether prosecutors can prove their allegations beyond a reasonable doubt. The public conversation often focuses on rap beefs, street politics, and internet speculation, but the courtroom focus is much narrower. Evidence, witnesses, communications, timelines, and the specific criminal charges alleged in the indictment. Regardless of the outcome, the case has already become one of the most closely watched legal battles in hip-hop because of its alleged connection to King Von's death, the prominence of Lil Durk and OTF, and the broader history of tensions involving the NBA camp and associated figures.